Hello and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles and our still continuing presentation of Daigakuten Saiban 2, known as the Great Ace Attorney 2, The Resolve of Naruhodo Ryunosuke. But let's continue where we last left off. From the conclusion of part 1 of the trial. November 2nd, 12:33 p.m. in the antechamber.
Oh, there you are now! What kept you, my dear fellow?
Hello, Soms. Gina.
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you.
It's not a competition, Soms.
But I'm more shocked than all you put together. That's the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation of perhaps it was a deliberate omission.
Oh dear, if it was deliberate. It puts me in the mind of the last case we worked on. And Dr. Simon.
I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Von Zieg's discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the red-headed leak. So perhaps something happened with him. Come to think of it. You had trouble with those Leaguemen too, didn't you, Mr. Solms? You were taken in by their trick? No. Actually, I wasn't taken in, as we put it. My slave-hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? You and Mr. So Sweet and me? That's right, sis! And it was me who took him in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good old white sister.
Indeed, yours truly. So it's gonna be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the red-headed leak yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own slip-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
Don't tar with the same brush as you, Solms.
Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Von Zieg for some reason.
The redhead leak. Inspector Gregson. Lord Von Zieg.
And Cosmo. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Cause I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear friend. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it he's hoping to make me see him on? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Susanna?
Yes.
November 2nd, 1 p.m. Inside the courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Baron Kunio-kun, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Usher. My lord. Have you summoned the witnesses I requested? Yes, the two members of the Redhead League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not too long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom. That's Chef D over there. These two men are currently being held by police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court. I am Fabian de Rousseau, descendant of the great de Rousseau, family from Nice and France.
My name is Pepe de Rosso. I am the third son of the great family de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli.
Really, Mario? The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European New Building. Those who graduate from Tensik are the future leaders of Europe. But, do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells in the brain. And that is what I'm trying to do. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui, you could say that.
Not very. He has the grand ideas, but the petty plans. And this strange combination is a charm of the hilarious brothers.
Hilarious brothers. Oh, Jesus. Da 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 da. We're the Mario Brothers and put us together. Oh, sorry. We found a single word. We found a single word, so I'm sorry.
See, couple?
Listen to me, baby. I have two things to say to you.
Che, are you about to tell me one of your grand antidotes? Eva!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me the couple. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business.
Che, bello, there it is. The couple's trump card, the furrow brow. It is deep, couple, the furrow and the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true?
Oui. C'est
And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud?
Hello, I will explain it. No, couple! Leave it to me! As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The couple here was many times behind the schoolhouse crying like the Trevi fountain. The dogs, and one day they will respect us in it. Every night he would bury his head in a pillow and a... C'est bien, Peppino. Enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we released the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled to the Red-Head League. Oui. Yes, but I am older than that. You have seen it. States that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair. And that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at a park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings. And with the money to France, it was a plan most elegant, no? No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a cluster's orange bell. And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present that day. I've seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life. See! And now, every time I see the couples here, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been submitted to the... Sorry? The day for our trial is not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details of this trial. About this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to have the law. There are more than 1,000 red people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in the photograph. Hey, couple! I don't remember him. Obviously, he's dead now. I assure you, he was not in the work. Aurora! This victim is had anything to do with us. However, a lot to answer for, Peppy. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Which one's Mario and which one's Luigi? You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Oh, okay, like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. Aha! What's this attitude? Are we getting nowhere? He's already sulking now. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Head Leak, undercover. Ah, I have the answer! Maybe there was a similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the redhead lady. Which means it's quite possible that when he was killed.
Very well, defense may proceed with the cross-examination now.
Hey!
But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 more people that day.
Please, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day.
Surely then, you can actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
I know many of the red hair is very distinct today. But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then he's just an eyesore. But if there was any other information you could give us, then maybe then we would be caught.
That is not the Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure that use that one. Yes. Peace, but in mustache did not manage to call that. Then I would have to think. I would have forgotten. Cosmo said this to me. That photograph and they've been told nothing else. What if I fed him just one other detail about the victim? For example, he's a professional. I can certainly appreciate that. Just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in this photograph was a detective? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Right, but this changes nothing, sir. Something to add, Mr. Darrelson? See, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? Yeah? And what did you just say about a detective?
that? Keep your mouth shut, Peppino! That's it, enough already. But why, couple? What is the problem? Hoo-hoo! There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Huh? Good Lord.
Order! Order! Explain this vote-face in your testimony, witness.
It's simple. A man who was at the park and said to us that there was no such man. But what are you saying, couple? Have you forgotten that? I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, couple, basta. You beat me out of many things, but not two, the memory and the knees. Like I said, when the time it is to eat the pasta, no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir.
Louis, there was a man who came to the park and said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because to start with, his face was completely different. You see, it's true, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was clean-shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner.
No resemblance whatsoever then.
Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precautions, certainly. If you are really a detective, show us the proof. See? The couple here, he doesn't take a no nonsense, eh? He said he has identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification?
That is most unconvincing.
Sorry, my lord.
Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer this identification for information. It's quite out of question.
Definitely. Why would he suppose us try that? Clearly, the purpose was heard. Exacto, capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a seat to recognize another, eh? What happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his papers on him and chased him out of the park. He was fantastical. And look, here's identification. You stole it from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identifications to be entered into evidence.
But I liked him.
We still get it anyway. Now, let's return to the witness's testimony.
But first, let's check what we just got.
Let's open this up.
Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? interest. What name's given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. Tobias Gregson? Wait, what? This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the department identification numbers details are all correct as well. Since when have you thought? Do you mean so? I know it seems incredible, but yes, I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable! This is the real thing after all? Inspector Gregson's police identification. The official warrant card issued to him by Scotland Yard. Now we return to it. Oh, you say this has nothing to do with you, sir? Let me bring this to your attention that this does. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade! Why Miss Lestrade?
What's your intention here, Counsel?
Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question. Which we can't answer ourselves. Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. Hold it! That's the boss's! No question about it! It can't be! As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question. Was the real Inspector Gregson carrying out an incognito investigation?
Order! Order!
But if the boss had his identifications done, they would have reported straight away. I mean, he was always on me about it. You do something, report once, it's like... Could it be that the inspector was physically unable to report it? What are you saying? Unable to... You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No!
Order! Order!
The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? You know I'm nothing! I'm nothing! Pull yourself together, mon Dieu! You can behave in the world like a master criminal, Suzanne. I wish I had returned to Italia! Stop crying, Pino, please. Otherwise, you may stop your whining and stop talking! And I believe it for you. Now you But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome.
You will try your eyes and testify again. About these identification papers and the precise circumstances on which you came by them.
Oh, for crying out loud.
It's okay, Professor Captain. But tonight, I don't think I even though I didn't think he was a ready to I was just catching him some good to say, just in case.
It's such a bad identification for me, and it's such a time to make the move outside.
Is that maybe a tussle, but he didn't know. The next morning, he let them go.
He spent the night in the bathroom. It was another like police really.
This is outrageous. You imprisoned a man.
But no, see, no, it was not like a prison. He was a very comfortable and a calm and a happy. Hey, couple.
He was never part of my plan. I thought.
So you think it was my fault, eh? But just because I got the dead, that's very wrong. That's very little a little day.
I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it!
No, por favor, couple, he's not fair.
You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back and forth. I told you this. How could he have been detective? Counsel for defense, proceed with the cause of examination.
The day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this prison neighborhood. Okay. What do you mean by a little tussle exactly? Buffy was not doing just a minor incident. The first inspector, he was a really piece of work, a couple. What happened? The fire was a disaster. We gave him a nice room, and what does he do? Huh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. And you blame him. He chased him the other side, and he caught him again. How can you blame us? Wait! You did... Shoot the man in your haste, did you?
Also, you think we are? Of course not!
I simply caught him all and took him back to the room. Took him back to the room? What do you have to say, sir? Shut up! Mr. De Rossi, something wrong? Hi, me? Something Mr. De Rosso just said seemed to make you, seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about? you! At times like that, you don't want to have the couple, or do you believe me? And I speak of a personal experience. Personal experience? That is enough. There is no need to say more. The truth is, an hour before we put the Reddy League plan into action, I was scared. He was not fair to the couple, but I tried to run away. Shame he didn't manage. But the couple here, he came after me like the turbine, and he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. And I had the bruises to prove it. Hey, couple!
Bruises, you say?
You want to see it? You want to see my fantastical bruises?
That's enough now, baby. No one wants to look at any blood.
What to do, eh? I show you I don't. I show you I don't.
You do now!
Allora, if everybody wants to see, then I do it. Yeah, go, you see? It's still very visible, eh?
That red ring around your neck? You got that when you were dragged back to the house?
See, the couple sometimes he's very rough. And
I said that's enough. Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we are talking about. Yeah, you are my word. Yes. What's your opinion, Counselor? About this red ring around Mr. Ross's neck, I wonder. Does it matter? Yes, it is. Mr. De Rossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with the details about that mark on your neck.
Hey, couple, you see? Everyone's interested in what I had to say, eh?
Very well, you amend your testimony as requested, Mr. Rossi.
See, if you really want to know. He tried to escape, but the couple put the collar on him and dragged him back. Like, would you see he did to me, sir?
Are you saying that red mark was caused by...
See, a big collar made from the leather.
A leather collar? Is it true, Mr. De Rosso? De Rosso? What? I had the same for another woman when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain. Strong chain. And you put that around your friend's neck? I was sorry. I was so angry that he was leaving me alone.
If you didn't have to tie the chain on to the leg of a bed, though, eh? I would have tried to run again.
You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you?
I treat the people equal. He's the couple's year's motto, eh?
It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison.
The couple's tough, but the couple's rough.
I should not have done it. So the following morning when you released the inspector,
he had a red ring around his neck, just like me.
Peppino, zifo, play. Leave it now.
And now you know, eh? The couple here, you don't want to think of him, eh? But for the inspector, it's not so bad. Anyway, it does make me wonder, about the pocket watch belonging to Inspector Edge. Ah, yes, the one he treasured so much. If he was confined but not restrained as the witnesses are implying, he would still have been able to wind his watch. That's very true, yeah. So did Inspector Persian actually die while he was being held captive by these redheads? In which case, is it possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Vex's? To be honest, I find that hard to believe. Perhaps we should try to find out exactly what happened. Very wise, Naruto, yes. That being this identification book here, correct? Izzy, that was the one!
What made you believe there was a forgery?
I've never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this man. I know I was thinking he must be false. Hey, capo!
Oui, it is just as Peppino said. We will not convince you,
And Sonic, hilarious brothers, we took command the car team.
All we did was shove him inside alive. And we made preparations to transport us in. In for a penny, in for a pound.
You took away the man's freedom. However comfortable you make it sound, you were still holding him prisoner. If you say that, then I say this. There is something that takes away our freedom too. The lack of money. So we are the prisoners as well, eh? All of us.
Huh?
No money, no freedom. This is truth. It makes me mad and it makes me sad. What can we do?
Well, if you feel so disenfranchised, take money to work. Though it costs you, of course.
There you have it. You see, the That is why we need the Reddy to fight for justice. Perhaps he has a point. No, not a huddle. All we did was give it to a comfortable place to sleep for the night. All we did was give a man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. Are you saying what a person, eh? Perhaps he has a point again. No, again, not a huddle. You should have heard him snoring. My God, if anyone was distraught, it was us!
When all else fails, press everything. Do you realize what you're saying? You have to believe me, I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either.
Do you think?
But there was nothing else I could do.
You see, nothing is. This was the first crime for the cowboy. He was at this retelling.
I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal master.
What about this hideout of yours?
You know that the house behind the park on Lime Street.
We went to the place for 2 days. It was inspired idea by the couple here. No, not impulsive. Inspired, eh, couple?
What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino?
And it was in the house described that you could find Inspector Gregson.
But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector.
That doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there?
No, you're alright. But we couldn't be completely taught.
Too scared? Why?
Because why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen to my plan.
And if it was the case, he would go straight to the police station to blow the whistle on us. Even if he was just evading to be inspector, he was up to no good, without a doubt. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, you see, you may be right. Hey, couple!
The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately.
Hey, couple!
One forever to Costello. Remind me of Costello. Shorty here reminds me of Costello. That is why we have no choice but to take him out of prison.
What I don't understand is why Inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place. You see, I asked myself the same question.
We were writing down the names and addresses as well as the people we took by shooting some that day. I have forgotten what they said, but the address is started.
See, address Scotland Yard Homicide Division, he said.
What? He probably didn't like your face, but anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he said it. And that's why
And that's when he started to say he was an inspector, and not long afterwards he took his identification. What was Inspector Gregson like that? Tell the court what happened. You took him back to your hideout. Izzy, we did. His identification. Izzy, that's the one!
What made you believe that was a forgery?
I never seen him even. He's so suspicious, he's a man. You know what I was thinking? He must be. Hey, capo! This really has me stuck here. Cross reference. Okay. Take 2 seconds. I'm gonna go back to the walkthrough. There we go. So, the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was only a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains.
What inconsistency is this, Counsel?
I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck. Yeah, but that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruises on his neck just like I have. The marks clearly visible on this witness' neck. We'd expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi.
Indeed, that is most peculiar.
But what do we tell you, huh? We say this from the beginning many times.
We, Peppino's right. The man in the photograph is someone different from the man we helped that night. Order! Order!
It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector made a note about the red-haired leak in his diary for that day. It surely means we can't divorce the two events completely.
The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson, these two red-haired gentlemen, in which these two red-haired gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation.
But equally, if they didn't actually encounter an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector? I got these damn hiccups. How did that person come to be in the possession of the real inspector's identification?
Does the defense have some plausible explanation, Coach?
The whole thing defies explanation. It is precisely for these occasions. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Nadahono. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Redheaded League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record. I believe.
Good gracious!
Very tantalizing. So why don't you help us all to see whatever truth it is that you apparently see? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRusso? And Mr. DeRosa? An imposter. Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no excuse me. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park on Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? See, that's right! We tell the same story every time! Whoever this man was, the couple dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar! Mon Dieu, Peppino! I was not so sure you say. So who was that false inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man these two imprisoned that night.
I must ask counsel for defense to elaborate, process. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson?
Well, gossip.
Goodness me, isn't it?
One of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today, a nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by. What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses! Is it a man or not? What has happened to his lip? Yeah! See, this man is not for the Red-Headed League, eh? He's looking for the Twisted Lip League, no? Perhaps, rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noticed something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising! What? The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand.
Hold up! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately. That of the witness beside me. Yeah, what's going on there, eh? I've all got this late. It's a birthmark, ain't it?
Birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you... Damn. 2 seconds here. Need a water break. Okay, back at my water break. I assume the reason you're being recalled to the stand has been explained to you. I am something about an expected game. I'll tell you, you got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me for all this nonsense, are you? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back from Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? It's your hand in its was. Yeah, and a big couple. That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Like I said, I had to look it up. Because it wasn't in the walkthrough. Or rather, I should say, map through. The inspector and the identification revisited. The man who claimed to be an inspector that day was definitely not this man. He's right, Sue. You think we would have forget these grand leaves, eh? Oh, never leave Fresno straight up. I'm not interested in anybody. I'm not living with that. I'm not capable of that. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does that look like I could carry off with this guy with a face like this? It certainly appears that we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, eh? There was no need for the pointless testimony. Ugh. That's right, I'm just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street's a lot now. I will have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... Brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something? I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Naruto. So you heard of the redhead leak, had you? You don't get a name no closer for nothing, eh? No business. What's going on in town? So that takes the technique to a fair few rides that can't possibly. Guess to the outside, I'm gonna send this coffee off for you. Well, it does have a very red nose. Who knows? Oh, it's the same old ass gone. I ain't the rain. I see my old ass not gonna hit rain. Hey guys, Fresno Street's my place. You won't catch me saddling off to some other place, yeah? No, sir, not likely. Sir? What's this for one day? Mr. DeRusso. Can I have your Did Mr. Gossip words just now lead you to remember something relevant? Perhaps. It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park or to my house or something. To be the headquarters of your red-headed Nikias. I visited a housing agent on Main Street and I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip? With a housing agent? We had some kind of contract and they were really discussing terms. What? No, you're mistaken, chum. I'll never let Fresno straight, mate, like I said before. You're mistaking me for someone else, someone with the same face. No, the cop was right, I remember it too. He was paying the man with the pink notes. With notes? Like I said, that wasn't me. I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name on the papers. And what name was written? Mr. Gossip. No, this man, he lies. He tells you he has no name. But in fact, his name is Kunio-kun, better known as Mr. Gossip, I think. No! You are...
This tidbit of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, understand? I don't not like folk talking about my personal life. Indeed. And it is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections.
I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case.
Good gracious, do you similarly object, Professor Osoki?
As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings.
Well, I never. In what capacity?
The name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put it very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking.
Yeah. I suppose that might be the case, huh?
So your real name is Hugo.
Well, just between us, I don't know me truly, but then I'll find out and So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a foreign down back street townhouse. You do. And once every 6 months I go and pay the rent to the agent on North Street. I remember now. But they were two redheads at that time.
You've had those of all guys, not me.
Sing again.
Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I didn't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit petty as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss.
You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone.
If almost. Said that these holders Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under my noses all along.
Oh, I'm ready to roll where the Phantom found was true. Or what difference it makes?
So you live in that room, presumably, do you?
Yeah, an alternative that what do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a test.
Then why would you want to rent it?
Well, I don't think I should have to say, really.
Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to.
Oh, no, that bull's not mine. Oh, the inspector must have brought it along. Don't need the other bits and bobs everywhere. Need a desk and a chair now.
People don't carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room?
Well, obviously, I'm not... Well, obviously, I'm not the one who's causing me now in the building, to be honest.
It seems to me that Mr. Boone, but rather, as little is known about his room as possible for some reason.
Yes, does come across that way. More important.
Knowing at the scene that crime is actually his room changes things completely.
In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me.
That's why I'm finally going to do this, man. Sir, if you've no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why is that among the sparse furnishings we found this photograph in the room?
Oh!
I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Mr. Boone, drop the pretense and tell the court exactly who you really are.
I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler, I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother me, please. Just leave it alone.
As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson. How can you be so sure? But just look at that man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features. But what if we were to look at this the other way around?
What do you mean? Yes, counsel, what do you mean?
Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Huboon? Good witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court? That's disgusting. I don't even his true identity must be. Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No. Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who simply goes by the name of Gossip on the street? Daily Vigil. Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Daily Vigil. I don't recall that name, counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Haddock Shells. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact, this is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed leakmen. That's night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we've been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. Now you just hold on a second. The first thing. What am I talking about, really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All we have to do is pull off that disguise. Please. Bailiff, bring soap, sponge, and washbowl at once. Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, you will restrain the witness. Oui, my lord. Si, my lord. Oui, my lord. Si, my lord. No! Stop! Get off me! No! But he's such a pretty boy underneath that. Why would you hide that, man? Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face.
beautiful. Hooray. So it appeared that the defense counsel's assertion was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court, have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but...
See! There is no other question. This is the inspector we saw in the park.
Surely!
On the day of the Redhead League involvement, the man claiming to be Inspector Grayson, who appeared before Mr. De Rosso and Mr. De Rossi in the park, was you, disguised as the inspector, or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all? Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warder at Barclay Prison. Chief.
Then your career had promise. Why? You quite possibly have become the future governor. What on earth have you been doing pending tittle-tattle in Fresno Street?
Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. I'm really dreadfully sorry about all of this. Yes, it is true. I am Daily Vigil. And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from? Boone is the other me. It's a name I invented.
Well, evidently there's a great deal on the surface here.
I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago that my employment as Barclay's chief warder came to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation, one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I've never told her. I opened an account at a bank under the name of Hugh Boone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that is right. The place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine. I was puzzled by this lack of furniture in the room. But that explains it.
But why on earth didn't you just tell us this in the first place?
I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons. And without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead you decide to conceal your occupation from them? Yes. thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to pass on judgment, even at 6 pence apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison.
Very true. You've kept the family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment.
That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson! What on earth? Some 10 years after I had invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller, the inspector, that is, recognized me one day.
Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours?
I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. From that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. Secret? What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me.
There's an Oxy somehow and take a statement from the reporters.
It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially.
Scotland Yard Inspector rarely relinquished his identification to no care with intended deceit. As I'm sure I do not point out, it's a very serious criminal offense.
What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions.
Now remember, Vigil, I'll need you solemn words. You don't blab about this anymore, huh? Ever. Even if I end up a crook.
In time, he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. Excuse me. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my Boone disguise, and then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification look. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. Well, it would seem that this confession completely destroys the defense.
Hmm? Explain yourself, Prosecutor Asugi.
My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered. At the hands of these two red-haired leaguemen when they imprisoned the inspector. But no, that can't be. Ow! After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me. Oh, goodness. Yeah, nothing to do with these brothers yet, spouse. And merci, Monsieur de la Fence, for proving it. What? Ah!
Order! Order! Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. As proven somewhat ironically by the defense. I hereby call an end to this cross-examination.
Welcome.
Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness.
What question?
It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time. 10 years ago. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh! Answer me, man!
One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case?
Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are extremely linked.
Does the defense concur, counsel?
Not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual. Oh, Cosmo. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago? And tell the tale of Genshin's last moments. His own father. I know. I do understand that. Even so. Professor Asugi, Prosecutor Asugi, do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Grimson's death? I need you to trust me, please. Very well, then the defense has no objection.
I see. In that case, you will answer the question.
The truth is, I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten! I'm sorry to say yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. that strike you as strange, not a hello? Sorry? Well, 10 years is a long time. But have you forgotten the reason why he left such an important job? Yes, you're right. Not only that, Mr. Mitchell's claim contradicts what we already know. The human spirits are fragile, broken all too easily. Which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry, the human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. See, persona. But never truly use this. If the seal's broken, memories resurface. And when need to, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't. Cosmo. But if it must be crushed, then so be it. Because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out one way or another. For the butt will not be buried. It will not stay buried. Right. Now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He needs to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I point out the contradiction of what Mr. Benjamin might here, might cause some crucial memories to return to him. Should I present the evidence or not? Do it. No idea how it's going to go. This is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to take a look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events. Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of chief warder of your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment. A dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? It's mine? So you didn't resign from the prison service at all? For some reason. You were dismissed as chief warder from Berkeley. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure... Ow! I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Ow, my hand. Listen. If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was June 17th, 10 years ago. On that day, something very serious took place at Barclay Prison. 17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor. As you were chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, that execution never took place. The convict, ostensibly executed earlier that day, later re-emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life. In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment that after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Well, Chief Warder Daily Vigil? I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on June 17th, 10 years ago. And now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole present, it was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What?
Order! Order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Bishop, that your memories of the time have returned?
It's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh my goodness. The papers. Reports. Articles about a man who's seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Trevor.
But surely those reports were exaggerated.
There were huge traces at the scene. Traces of what? Lowgate Cemetery, plot number 139. Lots of plot. That's where the man was buried. Obviously, something terrible had happened there.
There's some conspiracy and depravity from which they say the murdering of Christ.
I reviewed the police records from that time extensively. Thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved.
Are you suggesting
That a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it. Of using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now, the horror of it all's coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. Dude, stop. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. Please stop it. You're making me dizzy. You're making the viewers dizzy. Stop it. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Dave. This is a serious business, but I cannot help you anymore.
How can I help you now?
As chief warder, you're responsible for seeing the execution before, eh? Well, it seems like the fair Scotland Yard want to have a few words about you. It seems like the fair Scotland Yard wants to have a few words about you, but you better pack your things, Reddy. You're to attend in person.
As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And then the next thing I knew, please stop.
It's over! Order! Plaintiff, special talker I want! Court's adjourned for today with immediate effect.
リテルモン氏は意識を失い、その日の審理は中断された。またしても呪いのように浮かび上がる殺人鬼の影。バンジークス卿、リテルモン氏、アソーギ、そしてグレグソン刑事。彼らを縛り付ける重い鎖は過去からの闇を引きずっている。そこに光をもたらす奇跡はもうそこまで迫っていた。
And that ends the trial. So I'm actually going to stop here, and in the next part, we're going into the second half of the investigation, and most likely the conclusion of this case, which will lead into the final episode. So stay tuned. More of Daigyakkuten Saiban 2, The Resolve of Naruhodo Ryunosuke, right after this.